Members, I rise in support of the Roebling motion. And members, I think I would summarize, I guess, my feelings about this topic and this particular bill. I think this is one of the biggest disappointments of this legislative session. This is one of the biggest disappointments of the session. And I'm looking at the clock, Mr. President. We still have time. So that's why I support the Roebling motion. We still have time to roll up our sleeves and do some good K-12 work. I wish we'd had this discussion on the Senate floor months ago. We talk about what a priority K-12 funding is. We talk about what a priority K-12 policy and reform is. That should be the first thing we do. It should be the first thing we do as a legislative body. So what we are left with here in House File 2072, boy, if this passes this body, I'm not sure it will. If it's signed by the governor, I'm not sure it will be. I don't think anyone's going to remember this. I don't think anyone's going to remember this bill a couple years from now. There's no reform. There's no race to the top. There's no alternative licensure. It doesn't reflect really any of the days and hours of meetings that we've had in the K-12 committee. Again, a major disappointment, really ending the 2010 session with a whimper, Mr. President. The Teach for America folks, we should be having a parade for these young men and women who are raising their hand and saying, yes, I will go into some of the toughest schools in the country. They want to come here. They want to work in our schools, some in urban settings, some in outstate Minnesota. We should have a parade for the Teach for America folks. If we can't have a parade, we should at least pass the language that started to move earlier this session. Some good work by Senator Bonoff and others. Then the other body started to water it down. And then our good work got thrown into the Rules Committee, and we never saw it again. We never saw it again, Mr. President. So I'd like to provide a little more flexibility to school districts. We're not going to be able to provide a little more funding. But I don't know how there was an earlier assertion that this bill, what's left in this little teeny K-12 bill, what's left in this little thing, would provide some stability. I mean, who are we kidding? We're going to leave here, hopefully tonight, with all the stability of a $6 billion deficit in the next biennium. How's that for stability? How do you think our K-12, how do you think our public school districts are feeling about the work of the legislature this year? I think they are just as disappointed. Mr. President, let's send this back to conference committee and get to work.